This presentation will explain how to raise a safeguarding concern within your service, and it should also be useful for staff in other KMPT teams too. We are particularly aiming to reach the teams in KMPT Secure Services and our colleagues in Cygnet Hospital Maidstone.
Raising a safeguarding concern is the way we tell the local authority, Kent County Council, that we are concerned that abuse or neglect has involved one of the vulnerable people we support.
We will focus on notifying Kent County Council rather than Medway, because that is where most of our referrals will go. Don't worry though, both authorities' processes are very similar and raising a concern with either will be pretty much the same.
The proper local authority to notify about a safeguarding concern is the authority where the person is living at the time, not the area where they are from.
We want to try and reassure you that safeguarding or raising a safeguarding concern and being involved in a safeguarding investigation is not so difficult. If this is something new to you, we hope to help you to not feel intimidated or apprehensive about getting involved and notifying others about any concerns you might have or hear about.
Adult abuse or neglect can be very complex and a real problem wherever it occurs. For the person at its centre, it may cause a lot of hurt and misery and prevent them from living with as much independence as they can.
It can affect others too, including family members, carers and friends. It can be difficult to understand and unravel sometimes, to find out what is or has been happening. But that isn't so unusual in the work that we do. When you add, say, lack of capacity, personal relationships, poor care, or any number of other things, the complexity increases.
Following our agreed safeguarding procedures will help you to unpick, organise and understand any incident of abuse or neglect. Raising a safeguarding concern will help guide us all through the process and, most importantly, help keep the vulnerable people we work with safe. If it leads to an investigation, a part of the focus will be to help to prevent future incidents and draw people together to try to find explanations. Please remember that adult safeguarding is not about punishing people. It's much more about keeping people safe, building safe services and learning from incidents.
The safeguarding process is relatively straightforward. Safeguarding is about responding to actual or suspected abuse or neglect. Our role is to try to prevent that from happening, or to make a person safe if it has happened. If you witness or suspect abuse, you should raise that as a safeguarding concern. It's our duty.
Once you're satisfied that what has happened is abuse and not something more straightforward like a misunderstanding, then we have to tell the local authority. The framework in which we deliver adult safeguarding is the multi-agency policy and procedures developed by our Safeguarding Adults Board.
The legislation that underpins that now is the Care Act 2014. It was that act that made it a statutory duty for each local authority to investigate any safeguarding concerns that happen in this area.
That same duty requires them to investigate adult abuse or to cause others to do so. This means the law makes safeguarding everybody's business, so when we report a safeguarding concern and the local authority decides it needs to be investigated, we may be asked to do that investigation. This brief section of the Care Act tells us who a vulnerable person is, and in reality that includes all of the people we work with. There may be occasions where a service user will seem capable, but we cannot always presume that that person can protect themselves without support from others who might be stronger in some way.
The Care Act focuses on well-being. Keeping people safe contributes to well-being. The Act tells us that a person who might be subject to a safeguarding inquiry is a person who has care and support needs and is experiencing or is at risk of experiencing abuse or neglect and is unable to protect themselves because of those care and support needs. A person does not need to be physically frail to be regarded as unable to protect themselves. Vulnerability can arise where there is a power imbalance and where people might be mistreated, coerced, or manipulated.
Those safeguarding duties apply regardless of whether the person's care and support needs are being met by the local authority or anyone else. This means that a person doesn't have to be getting support or services to be kept safe in this way, although by virtue of the fact that a person is in our service, we will be meeting some or all of their care and support needs. All that matters is that they have care and support needs, are experiencing or at risk of abuse, and are unable to protect themselves.
Safeguarding is your and my responsibility. When we become aware of abuse or see something that shouldn't be happening to a vulnerable person, we need to act.
Safeguarding is not optional, it's a must-do. That might mean that you raise a safeguarding concern using the procedures I'm going to describe.
If the incident is clearly abuse, then we think you should raise an alert immediately. If you are not sure, you can talk through your concerns with a colleague, but do that quickly where you can. Speak to someone on shift with you, or your manager or supervisor. If you still consider what you saw to be abuse, then that is when we tell the local authority.
The ideal person to report an incident is the person who witnessed or was told about it first. So that might be you. There may be other demands on you or time constraints, so within your team, you can work out who will make the referral, taking account of local operational need, but it should be dealt with without delay.
You are required to notify Kent County Council that you have a safeguarding concern by completing an online form. We can show you what the webpage looks like, but we won't display the link in case it or the page changes. You should be able to find it by searching in your browser for Kent County Council Raise a Safeguarding Concern, or something like it. If it doesn't work for you, try looking on KMPT's intranet iConnect safeguarding pages.
Whether the person causing harm is another service user or a family member or friend, a stranger or a member of staff, you need to do something if it is safe for you to do so. Do what you can to stop any further harm, take steps to make the person safe, and record your actions and reasons. If you're not sure that a referral should be made, then please talk to somebody. Your team might have a safeguarding champion. They would be ideal.
You can call KMPT's own safeguarding department. You can also discuss the concern with your ward or team social worker, any of our senior practitioners, as well as the inpatient social worker service manager. Safeguarding procedures do not replace the role and activity of the police. If a situation is urgent or serious, tell the police about it and ask for their advice. Don't forget, you can call 999 if you're worried about your own immediate safety or the immediate safety of others.
Local procedures require that you report all incidents where a crime is committed. You will still need to use the safeguarding process, and please remember to get a crime reference number to record when you raise a concern. You can report a crime online or by telephoning 101.
A couple of other important procedural matters for us in KMPT are Datex reporting and duty of candour. First, every safeguarding incident is required to be reported on Datex, and also, of course, that should happen quickly as well. Any paperwork, including the downloaded concern form, should be uploaded with the report.
The next thing to say is that if what has happened has caused harm to a person using our service, we have a duty of candour responsibility to apologise and to explain what has happened. We are not going to go into that now, but again, there is advice on our intranet and training available.
KMPT has a safeguarding section on iConnect, including a protocol which will give you a checklist of all these details to ensure a comprehensive response to incidents of abuse. You should have easy access to a local safeguarding folder where details you might need can be found.